As you may know, West Virginia is home to several monster stories, but for every internationally known West Virginia monster like Mothman or the Flatwoods Monster, you have like a Yahoo or a White Thane or a Vegemon. Eventually we are going to have to talk about the Vegemon. But somewhere in that sweet middle point in between obscure and popular West Virginia monsters, you have several stories about wolfmen and just giant wild dogs here in the Mountain State, and I thought that's what we would talk about here today. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm the Best Virginian. I bring you West Virginia history and travel videos, and from time to time I like telling some of these stories that borderline on West Virginia folklore and cryptids and monsters. And we're going to start this one out with a personal story of mine. It was probably about 2009, maybe 2010. I was either coming or going to Morgantown on Route 7. It's very windy, very isolated, and I was just going down the road, and all of a sudden I noticed there was a large, dark, hairy something on the side of the road that I passed. And for some reason in my brain it registered as, that was a giant dog. And then 5-10 miles down the road, might have been 2013, it was definitely before 2015. It was a few miles down the road, I realized if that was a dog, that was a massive creature. That was a massive dog. And it turns out that there's been stories like this in West Virginia for centuries. Now, wolves play a major role in a lot of mythologies for a lot of societies around the world. For this region of the world, our first stories date back to shortly after the American Revolution, when Germans started colonizing and settling west of the Shenandoah River Valley in parts of Maryland and what is now the eastern panhandle of West Virginia. They had accounts of a creature known as the Snarly Yow. This was a giant, dark-furred wolf that basically lurked roads in between major towns, very isolated stretches of road, and would attack travelers that were traveling by themselves, especially at night. And this creature was identifiable by its foul odor, and it screamed more like a banshee than barked or howled. Now, wolves have played a role in Germanic mythology dating all the way back to medieval times and beyond. It really shouldn't be surprising that these stories made their way over to the New World, but it is kind of surprising that these stories have persisted. I don't know. Now, according to the West Virginia DNR, the Division of Natural Resources, the last wolf in West Virginia was killed in Randolph County in January 1900. So it came as a surprise when stories of a pony-sized, dark-haired wild dog started coming out of the town of Jumbo, that's in Webster County, West Virginia, in 1939 and 1940. Even without wolves, West Virginia still has 3 types of wild dogs: red foxes, gray foxes, and coyotes. But none of these creatures are pony-sized, and none of them are capable of taking down the amount of livestock that the Blue Devil was accused of attacking. Eventually, people got so tired of their livestock being attacked and killed, the nearby Randolph County Hunting Club actually put a $400 bounty on the Blue Devil, which comes out to over $7,000. So you could say Jumbo was putting up jumbo money to try and take care of the jumbo wolf problem they had. Eventually, this bounty brought hunters from all over the state and beyond to try and kill the Blue Devil, but eventually a coal miner named Elmer Corloy killed something. The official reports say whatever this creature was that Corloy killed was like a coyote, but different, which is probably the worst way you could describe something. Yeah, it's kind of like that, but different. You know what animals like a coyote but different? An elephant. They have 4 legs, they have like a thing on the front of their face, and ears. Like, were adjectives not invented until well after the 1940s? Now, as time would progress, more and more stories would come out of West Virginia of giant wolf creatures, but probably the most interesting of all are stories of bipedal giant wolf creatures. Giant wolf creatures basically able to walk on two legs. One of the first ones I was able to find was out of Lincoln County in 1980. A couple was hunting near Yawkey when a large black furred creature walked out in the path in front of them. At first, the couple thought it was a bear until the creature stood up on two legs, looked at them, and continued walking back off into the woods on two legs. When the couple made it home, the young man told his father what they had seen, and the father basically informed him that this was a creature that had been seen in the area, all the way back in the 30s and 40s. Actually, the father's house was regularly terrorized. They would, look, and the creature would be in the windows, or it would just spend like a whole night just circling around the house, would, scratch at the windows and doors, and then they'd wake up and some of their livestock would be killed, especially chickens. With the turn of the 21st century, a lot of these stories kind of started making their way on the internet and kind of circulated that way. In 2004, a story of two young hunters reported seeing a large two-legged creature while trying to get their ATV unstuck from mud. Again, this creature walked out of the woods onto their path and was accompanied by a foul odor. It was large and dog-like with thick black hair. It then proceeded to stand up on two legs, stared at the young hunters for a little bit before continuing across the path into the woods on the other side on two legs. In 2006, a similar case happened near the Dolly Sods Wilderness. In this case, a hunter witnessed seeing a large dog-like creature standing on two legs, nearly 6 feet tall, and was covered in black fur, and was moving away from the witness on two legs. In both cases, it was reported both creatures had much larger hind legs than back legs, and in the latter case, the hunter said that it looked like it was carrying something in one of its front hands. Are there giant wolf monsters in West Virginia? Honestly, I don't know. If they had to be somewhere, why wouldn't they be in West Virginia? I hope you learned something today. I enjoy doing these paranormal creature stories from time to time. If you learned something, leave a like, share this video, and if you haven't hit that subscribe button, go ahead and do so. But until next time, don't forget to stay wild, stay wonderful, and I'll talk to you later.